was having such a good day today. I woke up, the sun was shining, the weather was perfect, the birds were tweeting, the butterflies were doing whatever the hell it is the butterflies do. I came downstairs, I had a cup of coffee. Two of my wonderful students, Julian and Davis, came over and we played some woodwind trio literature, some chamber music, and we laughed and we learned and had a good time. And it was shortly after that that my day began to take a spiral for the worse. I went to the local Target down here in Irvine to pick up some important items for the house. Most of them happened to be in the snack aisle because I was a little hungry, but that's another story. And while I was sitting there minding my own business, as I'm prone to do, I was about to pick up some Chessman cookies to make a banana pudding, and I hear all this racket behind me. So I just turned around and I was like, what is all this noise? And what I see is what I would describe as a 26, 28, 30 at the most year old woman pushing her cart down the aisle. Now, mind you, this woman is every bit of, I would estimate, if I was to be dead on accurate, she was no less than 11 and a half months pregnant. Because if she had sneezed, she would have given birth right there in that snack aisle. Behind this woman, my friends, was the fattest, dirtiest, most obnoxious little 6 or 7 year old boy I have just about ever seen in my 22 plus tax years on this planet. This child came down the snack aisle, reached his hand, and knocked every single row of cookies onto the floor as he passed by. Now, I want you to take one big fat guess what his mom did when he did that. Nothing. So I'm just sitting here like, Then strike one. This little snaggletooth, grapefruit-headed little boy came right in between me and my cart, reached across me without saying excuse me or anything, and got 2 different packages of Oreos, and then he stepped on my white Lacoste slip-ons. So I just, I said to myself, Anthony, it's been such a wonderful day. The weather is perfect outside. Your students were wonderful today. There is much good in the world. Don't let this blood pressure build all up in your neck. Don't get upset about this little boy acting a fool up inside of the Target here in Irvine. Just go on about your business. Mind those people nothing. So I tried my best to keep on going about my day unaffected by this disruptive little boy. I failed. This boy took those cookies and slammed them in the cart. And the mom said to him something like, Timothy, we already have cookies at home. I got you some cookies yesterday. Go ahead and put those back, sweetie. And that boy said, no, I want these cookies now. And this kid began kicking and screaming and putting up the biggest scene you could ever imagine inside of this Target. And I'm just thinking to myself, So this child is screaming so obscenely loud that it has begun to draw a small crowd. So some of these people begin looking, and of course everybody's giving each other the judgmental stares. And I sort of feel bad for this lady. This fat, dirty, little foul-mouthed child who is continuing to kick and scream. What happens, the mother begins to take, because he wouldn't take the cookies out of the cart, she reaches in and pulls the packages of cookies out of the cart, and the kid rips them out of her hand. And at this point, cookies go flying all over the floor. At this point, a Target employee then comes over, and this kid is yelling and screaming, and then he did the most unimaginable thing I have just about ever seen a small child ever do to his mother. He raised his fist. I swear to God, this kid raised his fist to his mother and hit her on the stomach. Did I mention that this woman was pregnant? My jaw dropped and rolled into the Pacific Ocean and is still en route to Japan. When I saw this, I gasped so hard that it took the oxygen out of that entire store. I could not even see straight after I saw this kid hit his own mother. And then the ladies responded by saying, okay, well, Timothy, well, because of that, I'm only going to get you one of these packages of cookies. I am greatly concerned about this next generation. As I get older, the lack of discipline and parenting. Now, I am not a parent, but I had two of them. And though I did not agree with necessarily everything they did, they taught me one thing, and that is respect. And I do not see much respect coming out of this new generation. I don't know what you guys are seeing out there, but what I'm seeing out there is scary. And while I am not a religious man, I said, dear Jesus Christ of Nazareth and Bethlehem, please give me the guidance and the patience not to choke the life out of this little boy here in the middle of this Irvine Target. And it just made me think about the way we used to handle things in the old days. And there was this little device that has been used arguably for thousands of years that has kept our children in line and has taught them a little bit of respect for their elders and boundaries and things. And what I like to call it is the behavior modifier. And let me show you what the behavior modifier looks like. This right here is a standard 1000 series behavior modifier. When your child is up in public acting a fool, and that ignorant little brat has the nerve to shake its head at you when you said, Latrice, I want you to go out and behave while we're at Target, and Latrice shows her little behind. She's like, bappity boopity bappity boopity bap. Now, all you have to do is use the behavior modifier. Now, I know I'm going to get people all up in my Facebook saying, well, that's abuse, that's child abuse, this, that. No, it's not. I don't care what you say. Little Timothy would not be acting a fool if his mother knew how to apply the behavior modifier. Now, this one has some special little holes in it for aerodynamic precision. What you do, parents, is you turn that little cantaloupe head child around, and you, with several repetitions until the child is brought into control, you apply, and sometimes with great force, this behavior modifier until that child has reconsidered their attitude. Now, my mom was an expert with the behavior modifier when I was growing up. And let me tell you something. If you are having some serious issues with your little one, with your little mini-me, you will notice that while using this particular device, that their ears work especially well. So this is the time that you begin to chant the instructions while timed with the impact. So you might say, Timothy, I have told you not to act a fool inside the target. You take a little break, you turn the child back around. If they are still indignant, then you continue. Turn them back around, apply with force until you get the desired results. Now, I know that it is judgmental of me to sit there in that target and judge that lady and that child, because who knows, the kid could have some sort of problem. I don't care. I don't care. Parents of today, you need to teach your children some boundaries and respect, because that is absolutely, absolutely unacceptable. So I would love to get some of my friends and colleagues and some of my enemies I'd like to get your perspective on this, because I am truly concerned.